Welcome, everyone. This is another show of If You Know, You Know the Show. My name is JD. Of course, beautiful and lovely Kai Martinez is here. How are you, Kai Martinez?
What is up? My whole government. I love it.
Right?
What's up, JD?
We're going with full government
I
today.
love it, JD.
James Henry Pitts. Like, I would always tell people, if you wanted to know my middle name, I was like, you got to picture a lady sticking her head out of the door and screaming for her son in a dirt country road. Henry! Like, that was a thing when I was a kid, to show my age. Anyway, how are you?
I am amazing.
As I go through puberty, but
I'm amazing. I feel good.
Really?
I have been.
But you're doing like 30 different things,
yes.
though, aren't you doing? Like,
I've been trying some new things right now, and so I want to encourage everyone out there to learn something new. You are never too old to learn something new. I'm learning some ballroom salsa right now.
Wow.
And there are ups and downs to it. The down being, it is very revealing about, whenever you learn something new, you're going to be whack. Right. You're not good at first.
So you whack right now?
I'm not good.
You whack right now. You need to get on your game.
I am not good. Wow. I'm not good at all. So it is very humbling, but I know on the other side of that is going to be amazing work. So and also just the work that is happening to me on the inside of the relationship I have with myself.
But that's what I explain to people. Like, those are the best moments when you feel like you aren't good and you work at it, you get better, and then when you see where you've come, like,
you gotta get over the hump.
It's the like that feeling is that's life. Like, literally, that's success. That's pursuit of happiness. That's everything. Like, it's finding something, getting better at it, challenging yourself, and just feeling that what's the word? The euphoria of being like, wow, I did that.
Yeah. So I'm feeling that right now, currently.
Good job.
You got the soul glow. What about you?
Good,
How are you?
I'm good.
You looking good?
I'm good, thank you. Been trying to keep taking care of myself, and just being the stay-at-home dad, working on the company. Still got big goals in mind. And when he starts preschool in a couple of months, I'll be able to complete a lot of the things that I couldn't do while he was there. Because it's just hard to create with a toddler running around.
Right.
And I honestly, I feel blessed that I was actually able to do that. And not many people could stay home with their kids and not be financially troubled. Like, I made enough money to still be able to support myself and the family while also staying home with them.
So what's the first thing you want to do once he goes to preschool?
Focus. Complete focus. Like, if you have kids, you know what this is like. That if they're there, you're always thinking about, what are they doing? Are they good? What are they? Did they eat? Well, like, I'm thinking of everything, and it takes away from my focus. And it's just hard to kind of.
Sorry, I have this image of you in the Tom Cruise getup with the glasses and the slide through the socks. As soon as you drop him off at preschool, you gotta come home.
I'm in it. So I actually I got some Adderall. I'm gonna pop a couple of those and just go in. Like,
Lord, we don't condone.
They're legal.
Oh yeah,
for somebody, not me though.
Lord.
But no, I've just heard that it helps you focus. I'm gonna try it. So
we don't condone any of those activities.
Yes, we do.
On this
Have
show.
fun, live your life, experiment. Just don't do too much.
Kai Martinez does not condone. The thoughts and views of JD do not be shared as the thoughts and views. But
anyway, let's move on. We're moving on.
Things you should know.
Things you should know, or you should know, is our special guest. And you should know him because he is a playwright. He's a screenwriter. He's written television pilots. I can never say that. And he is a published author. He's a father of three. Right? Yeah, father of three.
Father of the year.
His book, Piece of Me, is out right now on Amazon.
A Piece of Me.
Also Kindle. What's the other one? You always like to
Audible.
Audible. I don't read books. That's another good thing. I read a book. I didn't read it.
I did read a book.
I listened to it.
Read a book.
Anyway, I listened to a book, so it must be good. A Piece of Me.
A black man's journey to love
commitment and love. Can I do this, please? Thank you. Wherever you are, give our special guest, Randall Davis, a round of applause. Wherever you are, tap a pencil, do something. Welcome, Mr. Randall. How are you, man?
Thank you, JD. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
Right.
Hi for inviting me.
Randall.
Yes, wrote a book.
Right, wrote a book. I listened to the Audible book, so I had this.
That was my cousin.
I had this deep voice in my head, like, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna practice my deep voice when he comes."
Shout out to my cousin Mike.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes,
he did a good job.
He did a great job.
Yeah. So tell us about you. I mean, obviously, I know that a lot of this is in the book, but just for the audience, just a brief rundown of who you are on your journey, and just tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a black man who loves being black, and
turn up.
Love the love of our people, and then I also just enjoy being able to speak and understand that I'm here for a purpose.
Yeah, and teach, right? I feel like we're similar in the fact that we like to teach, we like to love and give.
Yeah,
I feel like you guys are like looking in the mirror right now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. When I read the book, I was like, wow. But when I was reading it, I was waiting for this, like the end of it to say, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
This is what I learned. You should do it differently. I was like, what?
We'll get into the book in a second. We'll get into the book in a second.
Don't control what I'm doing. Where are you from? Where are you from, Randall?
I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
I went to school in Atlanta.
Right. I was going to say, I feel South in you because I'm from the South. I feel
what part?
Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
And most of my family's in Texas, but
I got family in Texas too.
Right.
Went to school and went to Clark Atlanta University.
Come on. Yes.
I think my cousins, she went to Spelman. She's on watching us now.
Nice. And what was that experience like?
Oh, HBCU.
Yeah, I was gonna say it, but I forgot the letters. HBU.
HBCU.
I was a lot older when I went to college.
Right.
I was making money, so I didn't think I needed to go to school.
Yes.
I decided to go because my mom would have liked that.
Yeah. What kind of work were you doing at that time? You went right out of high school and started working, or?
I worked in hospitality. I've been in hospitality all my life.
Oh, okay.
For the most part, and I'm pretty good at it.
Right.
So I was at a job, probably around 18, making like. I think I made 1 year, I made like 80 grand.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
Before college, right? I'm struggling to get that in right now.
Right.
So I was like, why am I doing? Yeah.
So what was this affinity for expressing yourself through the medium of words? Or
Came
using
from
words?
wanting, to have a girlfriend.
So that was the motivation for the book?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
just
no,
in general.
just writing.
Just
writing in general.
Yeah,
Okay.
because to get to the book, you had to get to that. You know what I mean? You had to start with, and as an artist, as we're all creatives here, and if you're watching, you're in a creative or just have something that you like, I feel like you kind of, it finds you.
Yeah.
You don't, like I didn't want to be a dancer. I just couldn't. No, I couldn't escape like professionally.
Yeah.
You're a great dancer, though.
Thank you, but I couldn't like escape it. It always kept finding me, and yeah, we'll get into the spiritual stuff later. But it just kept finding me. So I feel like to use words as a medium of expression, it had to have found you.
I'm gonna be honest. I think my my 10th grade English teacher, Jane Weissman. She's a little Jewish woman who convinced me that I knew how to write.
Oh,
Because I was afraid of writing. I didn't think I had the right, the proper syntax and grammar and all that good stuff. But she said I always had great ideas, and I knew how to interpret things that I read.
Wow.
So she was. I actually credited her with all of that.
Yeah.
And then I was introduced to Langston Hughes.
Oh, that's
Who's my
nice.
favorite poet, and my middle son name is Langston.
Wow.
Oh.
And
That's inspiring.
right.
Yeah.
And I think the first time I wrote a poem for the girl I was dating, she showed me that she appreciated it. And I just
ain't
That's
nothing more motivating than the
nothing when it
opposite
hits,
sex.
When it hits, like it's the best. Like it's the but I think that was another thing that I loved about the book. It was just because it was really about like love and just trying to find yourself. There's a lot of vulnerability, but I always tell Kai that a lot of things that I do came from trying to get girls in a sense.
Oh yeah.
And,
We all have.
but then it becomes a part of you. So it's not like a game, or it's not like I'm doing something to get a woman. It's just like you learn different things. And I do that with all people.
Yeah.
Like if you tell me you don't like something, it's always going to be in the back of my head that some people may not like what you like.
Right.
So I try not to do that. Like when I had a girlfriend who didn't like when I chew, or the way I chew. So I had to like learn to not chew hard. But I'm Southern, like so I'm getting it. And so I had to learn that some people don't like the sound of you chewing. And so I kind of now it's always a perspective in my head. So
some of us men have a tendency to want to adapt to please that person. So they
exactly.
like us more.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we want to be everything. We want to be. I want to be your dream friend, your dream girl, boyfriend, like everything. Yeah. And turn that mic towards you.
Oh, sorry.
Like so, it's that way. So it's going right at your face.
Okay.
Right. So all right. So we're there. That's where you start writing. And then I think did you work for Warner Brothers, or you got an offer for Warner Brothers?
Well, out of college, I got a job working at Warner Brothers marketing department.
Right.
I was studying marketing and English, and after that, I had I think one class left to finish, and I just decided to stay here.
Right.
Didn't ever go back.
Right. And then where'd you go from there?
Well, from there, I went to work for Quincy Jones Entertainment.
Nice.
Yeah.
You said it all like you sound like Kai right now. Yeah, I just did this little thing for Christina Aguilera.
It's a little
song.
something.
Like, come on, Quincy Jones. What were you doing?
Is he magical in person?
He is.
Yeah.
I tell you, the first time I met him, because he would always work up at his home. The office was on Barham, and I would have to take him papers sometimes to have him sign.
Right.
And it was my first time meeting him, and I had a New York Yankee hat on.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was coming into the house, I took my hat off just to be polite.
Yeah.
And right to the right is where a door was that led to his bedroom.
Right.
And the housekeeper asked him to come down to sign some papers. And he comes down. He had on some shorts, no shirt. And
comfortable.
I handed him my hat as opposed to the papers. And he said, "What the hell am I gonna do with this hat?"
Right.
And I realized, I'm giving him. I was just that nervous.
Nervous, yeah.
And then later on, we I don't know if you guys remember R&B Live in Central City.
Well, not here in LA. No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
It was the spot. Everyone, you would go there. It would be like a Prince up there. Tevin Campbell.
Yeah, I think I know.
Hancock. It'd just be a host of people.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
That was when I was like 2002, 2001 ish. Yeah. That's when I just got here. I remember going there, but I didn't know. I wasn't.
You didn't know what you were.
I was a nobody at that point. I was still at the door, like, "Hey, how much you coach to get in?"
Right. So, and of course, we was the entourage, so we
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was my first time, I guess, partying with him.
Right.
Wow.
And that's when I started drinking Cape Cods. I never knew what a Cape Cod was.
I still don't know what that is.
What is that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's vodka and cranberry.
Got it. Oh, it's a name? I'm
I know, there's a name.
Can I get
a CC for short?
Yes, for me and the lady. Can we have a Cape Cod? Thanks.
2 Cape Cods.
I know.
He
Hashtag
had
Cape Cod.
about 8 of those. I had 2 and I was messed up.
Oh.
He wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just trying to let him know I'm part of the team.
Right.
I couldn't get past 2.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So
yeah. But I met him once and it was the same. It was a very magical experience. He's also a Pisces, like me.
I never met Quincy.
Yeah,
he's one of those
it's
that
a
I actually
magical
never
thing. He has just like a magnetic personality.
Right.
Very,
it seems like he does.
Shout
I think
out
I watched the documentary on him once. And,
the documentary is crazy.
Yeah. It was beautiful. So, all right, Quincy Jones. Now, where are you? We're going through the whole thing, man.
Let's get into it because a lot of it's on the book.
I know it is, but this is the precursor to the book.
Yeah.
But I'm also just, if you have another question, that's fine. But I guess I'm just really understanding your journey because I know it is in the book.
I came out here to be an actor initially.
Right.
I acted in college, and it was easy because I was good and I didn't have to audition.
Right.
This is different when you come out here.
Right.
And I'm gonna be honest, I was a pretty shy person.
Right.
People don't think that of me.
Yeah, you still look. I can see shyness.
Really?
I do. Like honestly, like I can tell just the way you speak. You're very soft spoken, but you're outgoing. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know.
I see.
I didn't get
I haven't
that
seen him in a party. I've never seen. You may have seen him at at work or in party situations.
Yeah.
But just looking like right now, I feel like he's,
I am. I'm a low key introvert.
Right, you're more low key. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd rather be at the crib.
Right.
Honestly,
Right.
but I know how to, because I've always been around people who were outgoing,
Right.
Yeah.
and I'm good at mimicking things too,
Right.
and I know what works.
Right.
But at the end of the day, having the opportunity to be in situations where I can show people who I am.
Right.
That's important. And I thought acting would be one of those things.
Right.
But again, going on auditions and,
Right.
counter calls and,
Right.
being rejected. I talk about the book and, I talk about rejection. I mean, rejection is still an issue.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, especially for men. I mean, I don't know if it's that big for women, but rejection is huge, right?
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, I can't imagine being rejected. Like when I was, and I don't want to get into the book, but we're getting into it.
You sound arrogant. You sound so cocky.
No, when Randall in the book, he's talking about men having to pursue women and constantly being rejected. I was like thinking about if I had to approach a man, which I don't, that's terrifying.
Have you ever though?
No.
Nobody was that bad that you had to be like, excuse me, sir.
No.
Excuse me, sir. But how big is it?
No, I've never. I think I've made I've made
a scene so he can see you.
I've applied pressure, but
Right.
I guess my way of applying pressure is just being in kind of like in their face or speaking to them and
Right.
talking to them and like, hi,
Right.
what's up? How are you doing? Hey,
Hey,
That's an approach.
it is.
Is it an
Because
approach?
honestly, it helps with. We know
It opens the
instantly-
door.
It
Right.
helps you
It
know
opens the
that I'm
door.
into you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I be telling women this all the time. I was like, you flirt, you don't admit you flirt. Like you guys,
Right.
you know how to flirt.
But
you know
I've
how
never
to kind of
said,
like,
I've never said, I'm a good point guard. I'll
Right.
set up the shot for you.
Right.
I'll set you up.
I know you do, but you don't set yourself up.
I'm not shooting.
Listen, I sent her a message that she still ain't responded to, but she posted this picture and it was a lot of handsome men, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
God, how do you don't be dating all the dudes that's around you? Because I know all you got. Like, if I had your skills, like everybody would
Yeah.
be like, can I please just
Right.
take you on one dinner, please?
Right.
It's like, cause she be dancing, it just be like, bam,
So the
bam,
thing about
bam.
it-
It's so seductive.
The thing about that, and I know Kai.
Right.
Yes.
She's a guy's girl.
Right,
I am a
So-
guy's girl.
So
Right.
that's just how it is.
right,
And for me, a lot of my male friends think that they see me with a lot of beautiful women too.
Mhm.
That's because I love feminine energy around.
right.
Yeah.
You know, not to take away masculine energy, and I belong to the 100 Black Men of Long Beach because I want to have male energy around.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's something about a female energy that I resonate more with.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I'm the same way. I mean, do you have sisters? I got 2 older sisters, so
And
Yeah.
I think because of my sister,
Yeah,
I
Right.
like
sister.
that.
Right.
Switch it.
yeah,
Yes.
because I always tell her, like, my sister would be like, now when you get a girlfriend, you don't do this. I was the youngest, so I
Yeah.
would always try to be around them, and even just learning things from them, like that also helped me with women. So I love female energy,
Yeah.
but I also love a good, stupid male energy.
Right.
Right. I'm the
it's
same
just-
way.
It's fun.
I
But
have an
anyway,
older
Back
brother.
to the question.
I have an older brother.
So how
and
come, Kai, are you not dating all these handsome men that are around you?
Well,
how do you maneuver? Are they not hitting on you or what?
No, those in particular in that photo. I was out at a party and we were all friends that danced together.
Right.
And because of my history in street dance, no, seriously, because of my history in street dance, a lot of it, it's the same thing. I came up as a dancer, as a tomboy.
Mm.
So even though I'm wearing a dress and heels, I'm in there dancing like with the guys and
Yeah.
like the guys.
Do you-
So
do you
it's a
call
lot of
all men-
respect there.
You call all men bro? You gotta stop calling men bro. I remember when I first met her, she was like, bro. No. Like even though I wasn't trying to hit on you, just I don't want to be your brother yet. Just even though we are brothers, don't tell me.
It's a sign of it's a sign of affection.
Right.
It's a sign of affection. Growing up in New York, I will say this: I grew up actually saying the N-word a lot with my
Right.
friends.
Right.
It's culturally in New York
course, I know
is
it. Come
a
on.
thing,
Right.
I see
right?
it.
So, but when I moved out here, I was educated on the pain that's associated with that word.
Right.
So for me, I had to reprogram my brain because I didn't come up saying the word in a derogatory term.
Right.
Mhm.
So for me to be able to call you my friend, my homie,
Right.
I had to reprogram that in my mind. So bro, sis, and not saying boo or like love. I can
Right.
say that or
Right.
babe. I can say that, but sometimes the lines
Yeah,
get a little
definitely
blurry
gets-
when
it
you
does
say
get
boo to
confusing,
somebody.
yeah.
Depends on who's receiving it.
Right. But even still, like,
bro,
I mean,
bro is like really, it's just it's an affectionate term. It's like homie. It's like you're my friend. And again, that's just my reprogramming because when you learn what what the word means, N-word,
Where it comes from,
specifically, and comes from, I was like, I don't ever want to cause pain to anybody.
Yeah.
I can change.
So but
Everybody
honestly,
else.
like I know Randall's probably old enough to know, but it comes from us making fun of white people. So it was like, I mean, but it was used in such a painful way that it was like, so say you're at a job, right?
Right.
And a black guy sitting down, I would come in and say, if he come in, you niggas better get up, like, and
Right.
it was like a joke. It was
Right,
funny, ha
right.
ha ha, and then it became like funny, ha ha,
Yeah.
nigga, you better,
Right.
like, because we
Yeah.
were mimicking white people, but it was because of the pain. Like,
Pain.
we learned how to turn it into a
Right.
joke. But
Right.
it was, and so now I still say it and I still kind of have problems with it, but I don't
Right.
say it in front of everybody, but I still think it's so funny. Like,
Right,
it's
but
still-
and again, it's something
still
of
funny.
the community in which you are
Right.
you're a part of. I mean,
Right.
and that's something that I'm very understanding of. That I'm not
Right.
in that community, and even though I came up in New York and Latinos and the Black community, like we're all kind of one in the same.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
There's still a mental. It's easier for me to just remove the word from my vocabulary because
I'm glad you did.
It's easy for everyone.
Yeah, right.
It is. I mean, everyone.
Oh no, now. Oh no.
Really
everyone
do
do your thing.
I was saying it for a while. I haven't said it. I don't say it.
Yeah.
Oh, and why have you chosen?
Because it's the right thing to do, but
well,
That's
everyone
it's
has
hard.
their.
I read a lot of books.
Mm.
And I'm a history buff.
Mm.
So when I'm reading books and I read about my history and people, and I understand that word can never be transactional in a way that it makes another person feel good.
Yeah.
It came from something else that was,
right.
I think, venom.
Yeah.
It's hatred. Just to imagine, my ancestors being whipped, being told they're this and that. And it's just, so for me, it just resonates with me differently.
Yeah.
And I don't begrudge anybody who does.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I just came up in a time where it was just so much racism that I'm not even really affected by it. Like, because I mean, I've been called it since even before I knew what it was. Like, I just remember playing with little kids and, their parents would say it or either be the opposite or, and the parents would be like, stop it, little Johnny. Or either, the mom will say it and the son's like, I hate when my mom says that. Like, but I never knew what it was. So and it's honestly, there's so much pain in the whole struggle in general. That is the least of my pain. Like and so even like I don't say it in front of other races,
right?
Like, but I still joke like with maybe my sister or something like that. But I have a question for you. It's something that I just actually confronted about since we're on the Black struggle. Like, how do you feel it is for a Black man, especially even in your position? Do you still feel like there are challenges because of our color, or do you think it's more mental at this point? Yes, that was a big difference. Well, because honestly, like I
do you think
feel
it's
like
a perceived struggle as opposed to an actual struggle?
I feel like if you understand how the world works, right, and you understand how to get things done, no one is stopping you because you're Black. But you have to understand how to get it done. Like, and I feel like in our community, there's certain educations and different things that we were left out of so long that there's so many people that are behind the ball that don't know how to actually get things done, that they're still stuck in this place of like, they won't let me do it. But if you walk in a job and you're like, yo, y'all got jobs in here? Like, ain't nobody gonna hire you. But if you know how to, ask for the job, you may get the job. And I just think there's a lot.
You have to be taught certain things, too, right? And you just don't arbitrarily say, hey, I'm going to change the way I've been for the last 30 years,
right? Because
I grew up in an environment that doesn't give me these tools to learn how to do certain things.
Exactly.
So if you don't know those things, then how are we expected to get those things?
And that's what I think. That's where the help should be. Is trying to help educate. Right. As far as like, I think there's still a fight there. There's still a struggle there. But it's more to kind of educate and grow, as opposed to if I walk into a place as a Black man, everybody's looking at me. Because I had this discussion. It was a discussion with a friend of mine, and he was like, "You only feel that way because you live in LA." And I was like, "Wow, I think you're right." Like, but because I live here and it's such a liberal place and everybody's so open, it feels like I'm just free.
I can see that.
Like everyone has an equal, more equal playing field.
But when I go back to Texas, like I don't feel it, but I guess I could see how maybe it still feels that way. Yeah. And I've just been out of it so long.
More books.
Right?
Yeah.
I think
we should.
Honestly,
no. I mean, I can. That's why I'm asking your opinion, because I'm like, am I wrong? Like, does it feel like that, or
I've never believed that I couldn't get anything I wanted.
No.
I guess they called it arrogance when I was growing up, and an attitude, or I did.
You said you could believe that you could get anything.
I can get anything. I had enough confidence in myself.
Right.
And I was raised a certain way too.
Right.
I was around a bunch of men and women who got what they wanted.
That's important.
What they wanted. So I didn't see a barrier for me.
Right. And that's what I mean. And that's what I mean as a Black man.
But there are other people who
do, yeah.
Who've been taught that.
That's been part of their pattern.
Right.
And it's hard to, cut off a pattern that you've had for so long.
Right.
Things you've practiced, which is bad behavior, you got to practice new behavior to change the way you do things.
Of course,
I'll just
and I guess
chime
that's
in
all
on
I'm asking, because I feel like it's more of a at this point educating and uplifting. So during that time, like there was our leaders Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, when they were assassinated, a lot of people were like, fuck this, we ain't gonna never be able to get in, we ain't gonna never be able to do it, and they kind of went the other direction, and they also taught their kids these different things, like, them white people ain't gonna never let you do it, and so you learn how to exist or survive outside of the real world in a sense.
Right.
And I think that's the part of our community that's kind of cut off still.
Yeah.
Because they, there's just different things you got to learn. And again,
Right.
reading more books and educating yourself. But like, if you don't know, you don't know.
Well,
and
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Oh, well, the only thing I was going to chime in as far as my background, being a first generation born American, my parents are immigrants, my grandparents are immigrants, and there's definitely because of the language barrier and cultural barrier, there's definitely a mentality that comes with being a child of immigrants,
right.
and coming to this country, my parents were all about working.
Right.
So when I graduated from college and I was like, hey, I want to be an artist, they had a fit because you come to this country, you build up your kids so that they can become professionals, doctors, things like that. And that's seen as success. But they never felt like they could do that. Right. So there's just, and my parents in particular were very big on teaching my brother and I that we could do anything.
Right.
And that we didn't need to, it didn't matter what we look like and so on and so forth. And growing up in New York City, you see all different types of people. So you're exposed to many different things. It wasn't until I was in high school, I went to Lawton, Oklahoma for the first time.
That just sounds racist.
It sounds racist. And I'll be honest.
Next exit.
I'll be honest, I don't think I had ever really experienced like racism like that, just because of where I grew up in Queens and maybe microaggressions, but I wasn't really fully aware of it. And when I went out there, I remember I went to a little deli, like a bodega, a little shop. Right. And I go inside.
They don't call them bodegas in Oklahoma.
Yeah, in Oklahoma.
That's a corner store.
Little gas station. It was a gas station store. And my brother, my dad and I, we walk in and the cashier was there. My brother, he's in the military. He goes to get something out of the ATM. The ATM's not working. He turns to the person and asks politely, like, hey, can you help me? Didn't even look at us.
No response.
It was a white person. A white couple comes in. They're looking at us like filth, and they're like, and we're asking.
You said he had his uniform on?
No, he didn't. But he carries himself a certain way because he's in the military.
Confident.
Yeah, he's
they
like,
call
oh,
it
excuse me, ma'am.
Uppity,
good afternoon, ma'am. May I'm the ATM's not working. Nothing.
No.
We ended up having to just leave, and then the guy who came in with some girl, they're like looking over and like. It's just the treatment,
the energy,
energy.
And it's deniable. It's always deniable. That's the beauty of it all. It's always deniable. Like, oh no, it wasn't because of that. Like, definitely not. No, like I know you know.
Something about our energy though, our vibrations. We pick up on a lot of stuff that unfortunately people you can't educate people.
Right, you can't.
Right.
You can't explain to them. It's a feeling that I get because I know you may not realize this, but you're offending me,
right?
By just not saying anything to me, by looking at me, you're damaging my personality,
right?
And I did nothing to you,
and they know. Like, I mean, that's why they do it, but but it's always deniable. Yeah, it's nothing you can prove, right?
No, you can't prove.
But I'll say I agree with Randall in that sense, where it's like it's reprogramming ourselves. A lot of it is what we're taught. And a lot of it is as we grow, taking our education into our own hands slowly but surely. Right. And it's a little more challenging for the people that are in circumstances that we were not that we are not in.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I asked you, Randall, because I'm passionate about, like, I come from the South and I'm fully into this fight. Like, I can't say that I go out and I protest and do the things that I actually should be doing. But it's in my blood, and I come from it. But I do feel like if you understand how the world works and you understand how to get things done, it's just a matter of kind of educating those people who were left behind. I do think reparations or different things to help educate and to bring things back on a level plane is necessary. But at this point in our life, I don't feel like a black man has, just because of his skin, is really having too much pushback unless he's stereotypically like a hood dude or something like.
So there's a some kind of statistic that I was reading recently about fathers,
right?
And that black fathers are the most revered and more in touch with their children than any other culture of fathers.
I feel that one.
No, that's just real. That's reality.
Right. Yeah,
but that's a narrative that does not push.
That's not
energy. Because the other narrative is that we're something other than strong fathers. Now I belong to a group that's called 5,000 Fathers, and it's 5,000.
Shout out 5,000 Fathers.
I know. Shout out 5,000 Fathers.
Basically, we are on Facebook talking about our situation, and where the majority of us are single dads. I mean, mine are adults now, but I raised my kids primarily by myself for the last 10, 12 years.
Wow.
And the thing is, I'm in Los Angeles doing it. All right. And it's not the most, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And I commend you wanting to do that, because me having to do it, it was something I had to do. And I believe in the Most High when He puts people in certain places, especially parents. I think I chose my parents. I have the greatest parents on the planet. And I think my children chose me, because I think at one point they realized that their mom, they didn't, but the Most High realized that she won't be around. I need somebody who's going to step up. All right. We always step up when we understand who we are. When we don't understand who we are, we fall back.
Right.
And so too many of us who are falling back, and it takes us brothers who have emotional intelligence to help these brothers to recognize
their power.
It's a lot of power.
You
have to recognize and do what you need to do to make us a better fit.
And I think again that's what my goal is. Because it was sad for me to say, because literally I think we were talking about this last week when I was going through Kendrick's album, which is a great album. But at this point, it almost feels like it's easier to forget and just, I don't want to say forget, but I don't know if the type of justice that we're looking for is possible until we're all together, as opposed to just realizing where we are and understanding how to take our power now. Because I carry a lot of pain, right? Just from racism, just from all the things that I've been through, my parents been through, the stories that I've heard, and there are voices that you're supposed to not forget, right? There's those voices like, we need to still get justice for this person, or we need to still get justice for that person. But trying to convince someone of that,
right?
It's hard. And first, we're all not together enough to have one voice. There's people who are like, we should do this, we should do that, we should do this. And it almost feels like it's a fight that we're never going to win. Right. So it's like, it feels almost easier to forget and just move forward with the power we have now, educate those, who may not, have the tools that we had, and move forward.
Right.
And it's just scary to think that, because I don't want to forget, you know what I mean? But that pain, it's nothing you could do with that pain. And it's almost like I want to share it with my kids, but it's like I want to tell them the struggle, but I haven't figured out how to make it triumphant yet.
I will challenge you guys with this is, in being able to articulate that pain and feel that pain, transmute that pain through your art, and create a space for, because I believe that art heals, and I believe as creatives, we talk about how the Black community, the Black father, has been portrayed in the media and in film, television, all over the place. Is that a possible space for this feeling to transmute and flow through?
Of course. I mean, yeah.
I think music, TV, film, books, all these mediums are at our
disposal.
At our disposal. And I think when you have that, you can create the narrative that we want for everyone.
Right.
Not just for Black people, brown people, for everyone.
It's
I
true.
think all information is beneficial.
The most beautiful, one of the most beautiful things I noticed from the work that I did on Encanto, once it came out, growing up, Encanto. When I was growing up, and anyone found out I was Colombian, it was always about Pablo Escobar. It was always cocaine. It was always drug dealing. It was always like, oh, does your uncle have? Is he? All the things.
Stereotypes.
Super stereotypes, and that was it. Coffee, And when Encanto came out, a new generation of children, they asked them, what do you know about Colombia? And they're like, they're so many diverse people. They speak Spanish. They eat this food. And they just knew so many beautiful things about our culture. That was, shows the power of art to educate and entertain and heal. And
it brings hope.
Right.
I think that's the main thing. And I anytime I write anything, my whole objective is to bring hope and to be some kind of change.
Which leads us Pretty scared here.
Oh. I know, that's him.
And you know what?
Same head tilt too.
I felt a lot of hope and just beauty jumping off the pages of this book.
I felt a little jealous.
Piece of me.
I was like, I wanted to write this.
A piece of me. And I'll just get so we can get a nice
good jealousy.
So we can get a nice sound bite. A piece of me. A black man's journey to love and commitment.
Funny thing, a white producer had asked me why did I say black and just not say man's journey.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, one, I'm black,
right,
and two, there's a different journey. Although the stories I tell are universal.
Right.
Yeah.
I think anyone who's gone through divorce, anyone who's a single parent, anyone who's gone through homelessness, anyone who has a dream that didn't, come to fruition, whatever those things are, it's in the book, and I think anyone can go through it. My execution of it is different because I am black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chapter that I talk about called "Fully Loved," which is basically about us as black people and the things that we had to go through, and it's generational.
Right.
Yeah.
And it hurts our relationship because we're always competing because we're trying to survive.
Right.
And it's not something that we are authentic to that.
Yeah.
It's not who we are.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I can appreciate.
I always think. I'm sorry, but
sorry.
I always think. I sometimes I don't feel like it's so much competing as much as we all feel like we have to prove ourselves in some way.
Yeah.
Like we all have to prove like I'm good too, or like.
Right.
But it's because of racism.
There's usually been half or maybe one seat at a table.
Yeah.
Right.
So if everyone's trying to get that one half a seat and share it with like 10 other groups.
And that's what I'm saying, because I've never, obviously I've seen the crabs in the barrel and different things like that, but it's almost like you're always looking for a reason to say you're good enough, right? I remember in school having, little debates in like middle school, high school with little white kids about what black people do and what white people do.
Right.
And, obviously the miseducation of the things that we did create that, white people took credit for. But when you don't know really what you like, I'll beat your ass, like that's all you know. Like, and they would be like, "Well, black people don't do anything," or and like you would have these fights, and I feel like I've always had that chip on my shoulder about proving that I am.
You always wanted to prove.
I'm always something, and it does come off like we're battling or survival, but it's really like I think we all just want to feel like we're better.
And that's
when someone else has that, and it's almost like,
and that's the thing,
into hate.
Where it's in a lot of that standard for what is good enough has been set by the white community.
Right.
So even I love seeing my friends that wear their hair natural and that are embracing, that have been doing this for years, and that embrace their full selves, because I think as a people we need to reconfigure our standards of beauty to not be, even for myself, when I was in high school and stuff, I used to always straighten my hair, and I used to always subconsciously I was trying to fit this white mold of beauty. And I was actually hid my curves a lot. Like I used to wear baggy clothes.
Blasphemy.
I know. but as I've gotten older, like you just learn like, oh, I can be my full self, and that's beautiful too. I don't have to, my hair doesn't have to be blonde or pin straight or I wish my eyes were blue. No.
That is one thing I can say though. Like I feel like I was like you in the sense of the way I was raised. I did have love around me, and I think that's where a lot of my personality comes from, is because I want people to experience love. Like I want people to feel. And I even, I had a recent trip. Mom, don't be mad at me, but I did LSD, right? I did a tab of LSD.
Oh, we got to talk about that.
And I kind of, I really felt saddened because it didn't feel real. Like I felt God's love. I felt real love, and that's real. And when I was on LSD, it felt like it was fake. And then I felt sad that people actually would feel like this is euphoria, when it's like you can literally get this naturally if you just learn to love. Like just learn to let go. Like if you make me mad, like I still love you. Like we just ain't got to be friends. Like this, a racist guy. Like he was raised wrong. I still love him. Whatever. We ain't got to be in the same room. But it's just love. Like so nothing blocks me. And it's just such a euphoric. I remember being in those moments. And I'm like, yo, this is God's love. But I think it's bigger than love. And I think I think I think God is love, and love is within all of us.
You could tell you just had a trip. Lord,
Right.
he talking like that
Right.
that person that just goes through.
I think it's just through that love and expression. And
you said God was love.
Yeah. God,
What I'll say is I can appreciate about the writing where it says a Black man's journey to love and commitment.
Right.
As a Latin woman and Latina, I can appreciate that using that verbiage because I felt like I was understanding all of these universal concepts from your perspective.
Right.
You know, from a Black man's perspective.
Right.
And it was very insightful. It hits different. It does hit different when you know that.
There's a few parts that I was like, because he was like, love a Black woman. I was like, damn, I dated white girls. Shit.
Yeah. Well, and that's another comment.
Right.
But you know, I think it was beautiful. And I felt like I was, as a reader, I was getting like this beautiful story and I can appreciate the love between a Black man and a Black woman and see and not feel any negative, like not feel like, you know, any isolated. I didn't feel alienated at anything. It was just beautiful to like insightful witness and also educate. I
had to reread it too, actually.
Yeah.
That was one of my questions is like, after you reflected, like, did anything feel different?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. It was my hands that was on the keys, but I know something was also happening because I had when I was reading it last night, I have to. This is me,
yeah,
but I have to practice me,
right?
Oh,
you know,
because it comes out different. What's in your head? Like,
yeah. I have to really focus on these jewels that were in here, these little nuggets that I need to start, you know, amplifying all these things in my relationships,
right?
You know, and. I have to say that there is a difference, you know, and I've dated outside my race, but there's a
turn up, shout out white girls.
Just when you think we're deep and like we're like this, like really,
I gotta bring it home. I gotta bring it home.
Mature podcast, and you're quickly reminded.
I always compared it to basketball. It's like you can dribble with the right hand. When you learn to cross over, your game is just nicer. Like you got to go around the back, everything.
You know,
I love everything.
I do. And, you know, shout out to the Asians as well.
Right.
Hey, shout out to the Asian crew, Asian sensation,
equal opportunity employers over here.
Hey, as we, you know,
but the love of a Black woman is unique,
right?
Yes,
and it's just because of our way of going about things. You know, how we approach each other, and some of the things that we took on that were not ours.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I always talk about in business. You know, I'm doing some business with someone right now. We always talk about the tribal mindset as opposed to the European mindset. European is always about taking. Conquer, right?
Mother effing conquer.
Whereas tribal is about sharing, and giving, and being inclusive. I think also in your relationship, it should be that type of tribal as well.
Right.
You know, you want to be someone who understands that the objective is for us to win together.
Yeah.
Right.
Not separate.
All of us. I mean, all united.
All of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question. Because I always wanted to say that, but I don't like to say it. But I do feel like the world has taken on this white man mentality in the sense of just basically what you just said. Like it's more about success, and like I've seen the world change when different things meant something, or it meant something that you made it, or it meant something that you did it, and now we're kind of at a level where copying it. It doesn't matter how you get there, just as long as you get there, and it's a lot more deceitful, and just man respecting another man is changing, and I always use Trump's name because I feel like he's always had his hand in just the culture of America, and just being able to switch it from real to, hey, just sell whatever you can sell. And now our world is sales, and our humanity is at a cost because everybody's just trying to make money. And it's like, if we all can understand that, look, you're a person, I'm a person, we all have responsibility, and we can all make America great. Like, why do we have to fight?
Don't say that. Right? Don't say that phrase over here.
So go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Well, I have a question, and I'm putting it out there just because, we like to talk about stuff here. Okay. As far as dating outside your race.
Turn up. Shout out white girls.
I'm trying to think of what my question is. because it's just different topics of that. You know, you can go different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all just opinions, I think, as far as what I'm asking of you guys. So it's not no judgment by, but it's do you believe that you can date outside your race and still be for the Black woman? Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be for the culture, or for the
this
the Black woman.
Yes, I'm trying. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to missay what I'm trying to say because I'm not trying.
So if
we
date outside the race, you mean we disrespecting Black women type of thing? Like we should be with the Black
Is it possible to be both? You know what I mean? To still love Black women, but to date outside of the race, or if not, or this is literally just your opinion.
Yeah, I think who you sleep with, love, blah blah blah, shouldn't have nothing to do with
they're
your love
separate.
for another person. I don't think it's
right.
separate.
Okay. I don't think it's separate either. Like my obviously I have sisters, so I mean I love Black women.
Right.
It's just about actually connecting with the right woman.
Right.
In general.
Right.
Like, but there's always a part of my head that's like I always saw myself like settling down with a Black woman. Not, shout out Anna. I don't mean that like I did something wrong, but it was always still a thought. Like I was like that would be great, right? But it never worked out that I met a Black girl that I clicked with. I would always, we would always clash, like pride things. I don't know what it was, but we would always clash. So but I definitely don't think
Langston has never been with a Black woman that I'm aware of. He's always been with white girls, and the reason why, and it used to bother me at first, and then a friend of mine's pointed out, we were out somewhere and we saw this young lady. She was a Black girl and she had blue hair and she was very, bohemian and listened to like rock and roll and stuff like that. And she said, well, you think he would date her? I was like, yeah, he would. The reason why I said that is because he dates people who are similar to who he is.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't listen to, the Baby.
Right.
The Beatles were his favorite, group growing up.
Right. So you relate to, other races.
His comedy, heroes are not, a Chris
There's
Rock,
just a certain type of, I agree.
Because you always have to relate. So I mean, it just depends on what you relate to.
Exactly.
And I think
if it's a Black girl that does all that, you probably would have got with her.
Right. Exactly. It would have worked out. So right. So I think that's what you run into. Okay. I know we had flag on the play, but I think I want to skip it because I want to get to putting you on the spot again, Mr. Randall. So are you single?
Yeah.
So tell us about that struggle of being single. Are you actually looking to dating, or are you kind of comfortable where you are? Like,
because that's also tied into the book.
Right.
And just to segue on that and piggyback off of that and tie it into the book, you wrote these Facebook posts.
Yeah.
And again, you gotta read the book. They're beautiful. They are like, I was like, yes.
Right.
Can we copy and paste them onto somebody else?
And that's the point that I'm saying, because like obviously I feel some of the same things and I feel like I'm just as vulnerable. And so thinking about, dating and being like, what's your struggle with
Where's that journey?
Because why are you not cuffed up? You supposed to be
Why is it a struggle, JD?
Right?
It's not a struggle.
Because y'all crazy. I'll say women are crazy.
It's a journey. I'm currently single. It's a beautiful journey.
I am particular.
Right.
I have as I've gotten older.
Right.
Mature.
There's things I just want.
You get set in your ways. Right?
I'm set in my ways. I'm
clear.
Very adaptable.
Right.
Yeah.
I adapt. I mean, I have people that I'm with, on different situations where I adapt to their way of who they are because I care and love them.
Right.
And it's just a matter of everything. I believe in therapy, first of all.
Right,
yes.
Definitely.
Okay.
Get you a therapist. Definitely talk to somebody.
Why? Because vulnerability is the new sexy.
Right. And sometimes I just think it's good to get it off your chest and not on other people.
And also find tools to make sure that you get past the trauma, because I'm not bonding with trauma.
Right.
I'm not. I don't. That loop. I'm not with that.
Right.
All right. So I think for me, it's not enough people who are getting the work they need to create, a better them,
right?
Because they're still holding on to failed relationships and then trying to have other relationships based on these failed relationships.
I agree.
I'll pick it out real quick, and I'm like, I'm out.
Right.
I love you from afar.
Right.
But I'm good with being single
right.
until that person comes in my life and says, "Hey, I think I can reciprocate what you're giving.
Okay.
The funny thing is, when I wrote the book, the Most High told me, "Yo, you're gonna find her when she reads the book and come looking for you."
Ooh,
Now, for example,
you heard that, ladies? You heard that, ladies? So you got to read the book. Come find Randall.
Well, to JD's point earlier, and regarding rejection, I'm confident, but I'm not going to pursue for your emotional
enjoyment. Yeah.
If you're not giving me nothing, but you just want to have an emotional entanglement, I'm not with that.
Right.
I need you to come 100 because
Right.
I give 100.
Right.
And I'm not for everybody.
Right.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, and that's something that I can appreciate. Same as I've gotten older, I can appreciate men that value themselves and their energy enough to know I'm going to show you I'm interested, but I'm not going to overextend myself to the point where I'm just here for your enjoyment.
Right.
Because I've learned that when men, and it's very flattering when men do that, right? And when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, he's doing all of the things.
Right.
But what I noticed is that when I would seriously date these men, they would get the validation from me, but then they would seek it. Eventually, they would start seeking it elsewhere too. Because they weren't, or even if just they would accept attention from other women because they didn't value themselves enough to have those boundaries. And I was always like, well, why can't you do that? Or I've been cheated on, and it's like, well, how did you let this happen? Why didn't you just value yourself? And so I noticed that. I realized like some people, because men and women do it, but I think particularly men, they're taught that the woman chooses to like sleep with you, and as women we're taught to like protect our flower, and it's so valuable. But it's like, but men's is valuable too.
I'm the same way. I'm not giving you. I'm not.
Right, and you shouldn't.
My seed is important.
It's important.
I mean, but I do still feel like it's up to the woman, though. I mean,
it's always up to the woman.
But I'm gonna convince you that that's the right choice.
But you know what? But women also throw themselves at men, and they just do it differently. Yeah, women throw themselves at men too. They do it differently, and I think if a man doesn't value their seed, they will just find themselves in a very uncomfortable situation.
Of course, but that all has to do with healing. And like you said, getting a therapist, like, like you should feel like you are worthy of anything.
One of the things my grandmother, I say in the book, she talked about when a man gives off too much of his seed to, as she said, multiple receptacles.
Receptacles, that word.
Baby daddies.
Receptacles.
You're actually giving away a lot of your energy and a lot of who you are. And you actually, at some point, you think you're smashing everything and feeling like a man, but in fact, you're actually becoming a boy and you never grow up.
Depleting yourself.
You're depleting all that energy. But that energy is meant for a reason.
Right.
It's meant for only one receptacle, to be honest. Yeah. And when it comes together, it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
It's a beautiful thing.
And it takes discipline. It takes a lot of discipline.
There's a little thought bubble right here. A little reminiscing bubble.
There she go again. I got to add that in after the fact now. I got to do that in post.
Of Randall and his receptacles.
Right. So, but we actually...
Randall's receptacles.
We running out of time, but I really, like I said, the whole point of the question was just, I mean, I'm even asking for myself. Obviously, I'm in a committed relationship that's going to last forever. But I guess what I'm just thinking about through my struggles with women, and obviously I feel like we have similar personalities. I guess it's just, I feel like, is it just that hard to find the right woman that knows how to nurture you just the way we nurture? Is that a part of who I am? Because I give a lot and I kind of want, similar things. Or am I asking for too much? I don't know.
My favorite word is reciprocity. And I can tell within 10, 20 minutes whether or not you're that person. To be honest with you.
Right.
So it don't take a lot.
Yeah.
Is it your, or would you say it's your ability to identify someone that's not compatible with you and then move in that direction of redirecting?
I don't believe in two things: compatibility or chemistry.
Oh,
right. What do you believe?
Do tell.
Because I can love anything.
Now we get to the nitty gritty.
I mean, because I feel like I can love anything, anybody, right?
Pretty much,
right.
If we started with the premise that God is love and we are love,
right. Well, okay, maybe I'm being misunderstood. Meaning, if we're speaking, you're saying within 20 minutes or so, I can tell whether we are going in where we should go in that direction or not.
Well, okay. I'm when it comes to words and communication, that's my pornography. If you can't communicate with me, you're already out. There's no point.
Right.
To be honest with
So
you.
then you can still love them, but we're not
I can still
going to
love them.
go past this place.
Yeah, if you're not able to communicate to me what is important, and you can't even articulate who you are to me, I can probably find out who you are by asking the right questions. But if you don't know who you are and you can't communicate to me,
who you are,
I don't think it's. I think it's a waste of
Yeah.
time.
It is. But to answer,
sorry.
I think like the way I may have perceived your question different, but it's when you're talking to somebody, it's like you're looking for chemistry and different things to click. But
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not.
Because the way I see it when I talk to somebody, it's not so much chemistry as much as it is like I'll learn you and you learn me, and I can do that with almost anybody.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm looking for a certain
I'm
thing.
not. I'm not looking for anything.
Yeah.
I'm
not saying you are.
Yeah,
your question.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to clarify.
Got it.
I think you can have chemistry. Chemistry is chemistry.
Right.
We have Randall and I met him. There was a chemistry there. There's an ease to it.
Right.
I think when turning the attention to this is potentially a romantic thing. Where I'm looking at it is more of we're getting to know each other. There's an attraction there. There's a pull to one another to get to know each other.
Right.
Once I start getting to know, whether it's 20 minutes or 2 months into the getting to know each other process, once I start seeing indications that you're not emotionally available, that you're not emotionally intelligent, that there's narcissistic characteristics, that there's these things that start coming out, I'll speak on myself. A younger version of me would try to continue trying to figure that out and trying to help and trying to help you heal.
Right.
Now, as I've gotten older, I realize, oh, that's who you are right now. You need to heal.
There's no other version.
That's it. There's no potential.
Right.
We can just either be friends or
don't
not
direct it at me. I feel like I'm getting rejected. Nobody wants that rejection.
But I think that it's about for me. It's about the cutoff game.
Right.
Like I'm cutting this off.
Yeah.
I'm not falling in love with potential anymore.
Yeah, I think that's where I am now. Yeah.
Potential.
Now I have a question about the Facebook post, which once again, a piece of me, get into the book, get into these Facebook posts, because that's what inspired writing the book, right?
2016, the post started on a Sunday, and by Wednesday, 2 of my friends called me separate from each other and asked me was I writing a book.
Now,
because of that,
did you ever, or have you ever met someone that answers that you think back on this Facebook post that's like, oh wow, I think I was writing about you?
I was putting it out there for someone to resonate with me and say, hey, you're talking about me. I don't.
You should write a movie. This needs to be a movie, y'all.
I think so too, actually. But I don't
put it out there.
I don't do well with if I know you're interested in me, I'll pursue you until you decide, hey, we're going to be together.
Right.
If you,
I don't know. I'm 2 no's. I'm like, all right, fuck it.
Right.
I tried.
Yeah. I'm not going too far. I mean, I know that's what the narrative is, that men should pursue and be the whatever. Right. But I don't have time. I mean, if I don't see that you're interested in what I'm interested in and that you want to go further, I'm not playing house.
Right.
I'm just not.
Right. I think I had a battle with a friend of mine because we would be out at the club and he's the type that'll just keep going. And I'm like, listen, if they don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to them. Exactly. Like why do I want to try to convince you to like me? If it's not immediately like, hey, then I'm good. Like, but he'll keep going like, so no, hey girl. Like, what? No.
The thing is, I had a young woman approach me for the very first time in my life.
Ooh, you still making them ponder, huh? You still making them ponder out here.
About a month, about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Beautiful young girl.
Come on now.
I mean,
once again,
she could be my daughter.
Right.
But she came up, said hello, and started dancing with me. No one has ever done that.
No.
Wow.
Now, if my younger self, or actually 2 years self,
2 years ago self,
I probably would have, approached her in a way that, I want to see what you're about.
Let's see what happens.
Right.
But again, she's my daughter's age, and I kind of have to.
Yeah, we can't date young girls no more because they got to grow. They got too much growth. But listen, Randall, we got to wrap this up.
Like two things. I have 2 things.
Okay.
Number 1, I pulled up one of our Facebook posts, and I just want you to read it for the people. Read it. Read it. There's a young woman out there. Not young. There's a woman out there. That is gonna be watching this, and we'll get into your socials in a second. But I just want the people to hear a piece of you.
All right.
So you want the Fully Love?
Yeah.
Facebook post day 7.
Oh, look, he done switched the voice already. Look,
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
I commit to love you according to the 4 agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz, and to satisfy your love language. Therefore, I will make no assumption, take nothing personally, be truthful with my words, and do my best. Imagine the perfect dream relationship. You're happy with that special person who you choose and who choose you. Now you live a romantic bliss.
I know, right? I was like, wait, how do I don't clap. That's the thing. Beautiful, man.
Beautiful. You heard it here first. Last thing, we do a little segment on the show called I Remember When.
I remember when. I remember when I lost my mind.
So, today's I Remember When, we would like to do... JD.
Oh, what? I'm following you. Your lowest point. What was your lowest point?
Our lowest point.
So in your life.
Actually,
like,
can I change it? I want to change it just because of the mood of the show where we're at. I want to change it.
See, that's why I was letting you go ahead.
Okay, so we have a segment on the show called I Remember When. I remember when I lost my mind. Well, we go back to a story in our lives and we talk about what we remember. So, quick moment. First thing, you remember your first kiss.
Yes, Alice in Love. French kiss.
Ooh, whole name.
5th grade?
Yeah, she taught me how to kiss.
Yeah, where was it?
It was in the park.
In the park.
What about you, first kiss?
First kiss, it was during lunch. His name was Eric. And I was in the 7th grade, and we went like behind a staircase. That was my first like French kiss.
I know he remembers his whole name, but mine was Keisha. and it was by the buses. Like we were, when you come out of school and everybody gets on the buses. Like this is in the South. I don't know if they did that here, but so everybody's getting on the bus, and I got my quick little smooch. But I found out a year later that she was the P girl. Right, like she was the 8th grade, so I was 6th grade. I thought I was the man.
Oh,
but
wow.
Come to find out, she was like the PP girl that nobody wanted, and I thought I was like, oh, that's my girl. So I got teased for my first kiss all through high school.
Oh, no.
So, hey, Keisha, how you doing?
Keisha. But yes, I wanted to change it just because we're in the mood, we're in a loving mood.
And that's why I had it at first. That's why you don't listen to women. No, I'm kidding. Listen to your woman. Hear them out, but don't follow their directions.
But amazing. Randall, thank you so much for being a guest on our show today.
Thank you for coming,
we
man.
have
Appreciate
talked
it.
about all of the things. Where can the people find you? Where can that special lady find you? Slide in the DMs, y'all. Slide in the DMs.
Yeah, my IG is Randall C. Davis. Real simple. My Facebook is also Randall C. Davis. Real simple. And my web page is www.randallcdavis. It's real simple.
So ladies, he is easy to find. Okay, or you can always hit us up. Shoot us a DM at IYKYK_ the show. Say, hey, I want to be hooked up with Randall.
Yeah.
And we'll start. We'll have you back on the show.
Look, he's like, I ain't trying to do that. I'm in my piece right now. I ain't trying to have a bunch of women calling me.
Mr. Randall has put in the work. He has pursued many women in his day. So now it's time for the ladies to return the favor.
That part.
You know?
Right, man. Yeah, and it's great to have you. I'm definitely gonna get your information because I definitely need writers. The reason I actually love the book is because my mind, I feel like it's hard for me to get everything out. Like I feel like if I write it, my brain moves too fast. If I try to say it, I can't say it right. So I would love to kind of connect with you and figure out like the whole book process and like even just as far as productions, like like our creativity. Like I love to do like little short films and different things and you know bring some of these things to light. So and I need people that
we're gonna stay
help.
in touch because like I said, I watched the. Like I don't know a lot of y'all shows last night. I was because I know Kai, didn't know you, but then when I was listening to you speak, I'm like, oh shit, that's a younger me.
Right, right. So he was just in mentor capacity and all that. So
yes, look at that.
Thank you guys for
Bring
watching.
the show together.
Kai, thank you for being here.
Yes, final thoughts. Do we have one final thought for the people?
Learn yourself. Do the work. Do the work. Get out your head. If you're black, learn that your blackness is powerful and do the work.
Amen.
Educate yourself.
Amen. Randall.
Yeah, read a book.
Man.
Read a book.
Listen, Randall, I want to explain the reading the book thing. I'll be trying. I'll be trying.
Listen to a book.
Right. Even listening was hard. I was like, what the squirrel?
And my final thought for today will be
is to keep your elbows steady.
Learn. My final thought for today will be to learn something new.
Turn up.
Y'all.
See y'all next show, guys.
YK, the show. Peace.